Hi and welcome to this Symix demo where we will show how easy it is to configure and reconfigure a simulation system using the Symix Eclipse UI. We start by starting a basic x86 PC target, and then we're going to have a look inside of it. If we look at the system editor view here, we can see that the simulation system we just created contains an Ethernet network, a service node that provides services like ping replies, DNS and DHCP to the target machines in the simulated network, and we have Viper, which is the actual x86 machine. If we look inside Viper, we see pieces familiar to anybody who's ever disassembled a PC. We have a CD-ROM, we have a disk, and we have a motherboard. If we look inside the motherboard, we find a processor, a graphics unit, memory modules, NB, which is an Intel X58 Express chipset memory controller hub, MCH, and we have the ICH10 or South Bridge. If we look inside the South Bridge, we can see that it contains a number of objects which actually implement the functionality of this chip. So these are the devices that you would find on chip in the real hardware, SATA controllers, interrupt controllers, serial ports, all that stuff. We also have a set of connectors for the South Bridge, which is used to connect this particular part of the system to other parts of the system, like, once again, SATA, PCI, IDE, and Ethernet. So let's see how we can actually reconfigure the system. Let's add a new Ethernet card to the system. We select it's going to be inside the Viper machine, and since this is an Ethernet card, we have to give it a name like New Ethernet. And I want this to be an Intel card. We take this dual gigabit card. It requires a MAC address to be provided, so we take something that's easy to identify. And that's it. Now we have a new Ethernet card inside our target machine. However, we still need to connect it. So we connect it up to Ethernet, and we connect it up to some PCI slot in the system. Let's take this one. And then we select it and instantiate it. And at this point, we have really pushed in a new PCI card connected to Ethernet into the target system. So let's boot the target systems. Okay. The target system is up. At this point, let's disconnect the onboard Ethernet from the Ethernet network. It's disconnected, and you can see the Ethernet link light on the back panel of the system turning off because we disconnected it. And in order to actually network it now, we need to configure the Ethernet card we just inserted. So let's go to the target console and have a look at what's available in terms of Ethernet cards. If we scroll back up, we can see that Ethernet 0 has the hardware address we entered before. So that's the one we want. So let's configure it. And then we bring it up. And in order to test that this actually works, we ping the service node. And lo and behold, it works. So we seem to have succeeded in inserting a new PCI Ethernet card into the system and activating it from the software. Note we can also do this kind of target configuration from the Symix command line. Let's quickly show the first few steps of such a process. So basically, to create a new card, you give a command like create PCI something, you give it a name, and you give it this MAC address it needs to have, and that immediately means a new card appears just like before. And then to connect it, you use the connection command, and once it's edited, you see it connects, and you can also connect it to PCI, and now the PCI is connected. So the graphical user interface and the command line interface can both do the same thing.